So we are live streaming. All right, Mr. Akintola, welcome everybody. So today we'll be talking about the dynamics of innovative assessment. So sorry, that is very new to me. So Mr. Akintola, I believe you should just take the floor right now. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much. The pleasure being here. And I also appreciate the convener of this meeting. Quite unfortunate that we are few on this platform right now, and I know that this event was given adequate publicity, but I'm not surprised. In this part of the world, our attitude to knowledge, especially when it comes to something we are not getting money from, is not that too encouraging. Especially if things are free. When things are free, people don't value it. They tend to believe that it is free. What would I get from it? But you'll be surprised, the same module, if I'm to take it in US or I'm to take it in Dubai, and people are asked to come for a conference in Dubai and they will pay money to Dubai for a conference. On getting to Dubai, they discovered that it's the same Nigerian they abandoned or they neglected in Nigeria. It's the same person that is taking them the same module. They won't have choice, but they are paid. That's why some of us, we have been skeptical at times in doing some things free. If people pay for it, they tend to value it. But that's not an issue. We are not averse to that. Some of us, we are used to this. And but the point is, even if it is one or two people that are able to get something, and I think that is fantastic. So for few of us that are on the platform, it's a good thing, and I welcome you. Once again, my name is Akintola. I could see one of my colleagues online, Dr. Tio Adebayo. That's a dean of a faculty. Faculty is like a college. In fact, that's wow. A colleague, a friend.
We are happy to have you here, Dr. Adebayo. We are so happy.
Dr. Adebayo, I could see him. He's a very good friend, a senior colleague for that matter.
Wow.
He's right in Osun State as we speak, and you can imagine. I saw it on my platform. I think I saw it on my WhatsApp status, and it connected. That's how people value knowledge anyway. It's good. So, Ms. Vivian, please allow me to share my screen so we can move as soon as possible. Mr. Gavin, my regards, I greet you.
I greet you, sir.
That's my senior when I was at New Orleans International School. I greet you, sir.
Mr. Gbega, where was I your senior?
Not senior, Mr. Gbega.
You are my senior now. I met you as new now. You are my senior.
Oh, I understand in that light.
I value seniority seriously. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. I hope you can see my screen now.
Yes, sir. Please put it in slide. Yeah, thank you.
Good. Yeah, I'll be talking on dynamics of innovative assessment. And of course, you know my name. And I work in the Faculty of Education at University. So I want to start with this. And this is a word on the map. And somebody said, I don't know how to do this. That many of our schools are good schools. If only these were in 1965. I don't know how true it is. Mr. Gavin, what do you think? Do you believe that assertion? Was an opinion, really? Would that be correct? That many of our schools are good schools. That many of our schools are good schools. If only these were in 1965.
I would say it's 60% correct.
Okay, good. Let's go for that. And I adopted this assertion too, that as teachers, we should be careful of what we give our children. But sooner or later, we are sure to get it back, directly or indirectly. They might not be able to teach us again, but they are likely to teach our children or our grandchildren. That is very possible. The possibility of that is very high. Apart from that, it might not be even be in the classroom. Like what government is doing now, okay? Somebody said, now you are not ready to fund education. Either you like it or not, you find a way of paying for it, for neglect of the educational system. Now you are having collapse of building everywhere because the education was not properly funded. So the students that finished from that program, all civil engineering, building-related courses, they were not properly trained. And these are people that are meant to supervise building projects around when they graduate. So we are getting it back. Now you have doctors that are not properly trained while they were in school. We see them in hospitals and they commit a lot of blunders. Either we like it or not, we are getting it back. So we should be careful as teachers, as individuals, as governments, what we give to our children in terms of teaching, in terms of learning, in terms of education. Sooner or later, we'll get it back. And of course, that underpins the assertion that what goes around comes around. I stand to be corrected. So for this session that I've been privileged to take, what are our expectations? We'll be looking at the concept of innovative assessment. Then we'll try to differentiate between traditional way of assessment that we are used to and innovative assessment. We'll try to see if we can lay our hands on designing rubrics for performance-based assessment. How do we design rubrics for performance-based assessment? Then how do you use specific rubrics to assess learning? Well, we are used to traditional assessment. Is traditional assessment new from innovative assessment? Is it just a change of name of old thing and we'll call it new thing, as been asserted by Mr. Galvin? Yes, let's try to see as we move on. So basically, the presentation will go, this session will have two dimensions. The paper presentation as I'm doing then, as professionals, we'll open up for discussion. There is this myth that most of us we are used to. Let's look at the myth and the reality of Omo teacher. I don't know if somebody will understand that concept. I will explain. When we talk about myth, we are talking about a figment of imagination, something that is not real, something that is not even half truth. Is either half truth, is a figment of imagination. But behind every myth, on the opposite, there is a reality. But let's look at the myth and the reality of omotika, that is teacher's child. I don't know if you had that experience. I did. And I'll tell you. You discover that a student that the teacher likes in the class, or a pupil that the teacher likes in the class, or a pupil that scores high in class every time in mathematics is the best student, in English is the best student, in social studies the best student, in this is the best student. The colleagues, the contemporaries tend to name that student Omo teacher. This one is Omo teacher. He's Omo teacher. It's because the teacher loves him. That's why he's getting all the marks. That's why. So this concept of Omo teacher, is it a reality or is it a myth? Does it really exist? Does teacher do take such subjectivity in assessment? That, oh, the teacher is being subjective in assessment. That's why somebody is scoring the highest every time. Is it a myth? Is it a reality? Does this thing actually happen? And that takes us to the issue of assessment. Is it subjective? Is it objective? Assessment is meant to be objective. So let's look at the concept of assessment. What does it mean? It's a critical component of learning. You can see it as a gauge. So it gauges the learning outcome. It gauges whether the learning outcome has been achieved. Learning outcome is a result of what the student have learned over a period of time. And you have subjected those learning to some level of measurement. So assessment gauges whether learning outcome have been achieved. And of course, assessment also enhances learners' motivation. When I score 80 over 100, I'm being motivated. The courses or the course that I score most or I score high, I tend to love that course. What is the concept of assessment again? Assessment is contribute to learning. But for it to contribute to learning, there are features of assessment. It must be realistic. There must be element of reality there. It must be relevant to the skill you want to measure. You can't be using assessment of English to measure mathematics. It must be relevant. And what do you assess? When to assess? And why are you assessing? All these things should be closely linked. What to assess? What are you assessing? If it is in mathematics, what aspect of what skill do you want to measure in mathematics? If it is English, what skill are you measuring? Is it the comprehension? Is it the creative writing? Is it the, for those of us that have done IELTS before, IELTS, yes, there are 4 components of that exam. Talk about speaking, listening, writing, and which other one? Speaking, listening, writing, and I think there are 4. 2 are receptive and skills, and other 2 are expressive skills. Yes, speaking is expressive, writing is expressive. Yes, reading and listening, these are receptive. So what are you measuring? What are you assessing? When are you assessing it? Then why are you assessing it? We are still looking at the concept of assessment. So when assessment is realistic and relevant and focusing on learning, it is referred to as innovative assessment. I repeat that. When it's realistic, when it is relevant, when it focuses on learning, not on teaching now. Most of the time, as teachers, we base our assessment on what we have taught. Oh, I've covered the syllabus. You now set your question based on the syllabus after I've taught them. Innovative assessment based on what I've been learned, not what I've been taught. So in this module, participants will examine the practice of variety of innovative way of assessing learning. But with this, we want to look at, I'll just take one aspect of things that are one aspect of education that is very difficult to assess. That is vocational studies. Most of the time, we use subjectivity to assess that. For instance, you give students an assignment to construct, let me say, or to do a drawing, or to construct something from home. There was a time a teacher gave my son an assignment to plant a flower. And of course, you bring the flower to school. And I was like, I hope this teacher will know what to assess. Because that level of skill is not quantitative like mathematics. It's not 1 + 1. That is, the answer is directly 2. All of them will definitely bring flower. But what are you looking for? What are you assessing? So vocational skills, vocational subject that has to do with psychomotor. PhD students, computer science teacher. You want to see how students design websites. What are you looking for there? These are vocations. You are looking out for skills, not cognitive skills. You are looking at practical hands-on skills. I just gave an example of agriculture, home economics too. For instance, you ask them to cook. I mean, some of these people that do cooking contest and what have you, you just taste and what have you. Is that enough assessment, or there's some level of subjectivity there? We are going somewhere. So, but for us to understand that, let's look at the concept of innovation. It often comes out of a need to solve a problem. Anytime there is a problem, there is a need for innovation. Innovation is quite different from creativity. You ask me, I can tell you yes, 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 1,000,000 times. I have my PhD thesis on entrepreneurial creativity. And I've come to discover that there's a difference between innovation and creativity. Creativity is when you are creating something that is not in existence. Innovation is you are using what is in existence in another way. Those things are being in existence, but you are applying it to something else. Oh, we all know that you wear native and you have the buba inside, you wear agbada on. But when Ile Momodu wore shirts, I mean office shirts, and he put agbada on it, that is innovation. That combination was innovative. And after that, a lot of people started doing that. Now, you know that normally if you want to take gari, you use gari and granules. But by the time I'm combining granules and pounded yam, and people discover that, oh, this thing is sweet. At first, it might sound crazy, but somebody now, a lot of people now discover, oh, this thing is fantastic. It becomes an innovation. Before now, while we're growing up, the sachet water is not, there's nothing like sachet water. It is ice water being tied in cellophane nylon. But somebody came up with an innovation. And you put it in a, what do you call it? In a sachet. And that becomes innovation. We know that you can tie water in nylon, but innovation, another way of doing it. So it is directed towards improvement or solving or alleviating some perceived problems. And innovation is one circumstances that may something already established elsewhere, but individuals see it as an innovation in their circumstances. I hope that one is clear. It has been established elsewhere, but when you are applying it to something else, it becomes innovation. So we are looking at innovative assessment. It's an approach to assessment that is delivered in an innovative way to support learning. It's an approach, but you deliver it in an innovative way to support learning. So the end product is not support learning. So the focus is on assessment for learning and is not limited to assessment of learning. We need to note this. Innovative assessment is assessment for learning, not assessment of learning. I'll explain that. Assessment for learning. You are assessing for further learning, not assessment of what has been learned, so to say. It is for assessment for learning, not assessment of learning. Let's look at the dichotomy between the traditional assessment and the innovative assessment for us to really know, oh, what is unique about innovative assessment. For traditional assessment, the preoccupation is who pass, who fail. Oh, this course, mathematics, is only 5 people that pass. 25 people failed in my class. And you know, math teacher, I always see them as a wicked person. When you fail, you will receive cane. But innovative assessment focuses on measuring progress in learning. That's what makes it different. Because progress is measuring. Even somebody who failed must have left where that person was ab initio. You agree with me? If the pass mark is 40 and somebody scored 5, pass mark is 40 over 100. Somebody scored 80, somebody scored 70. Of course, all the students in class cannot score the same mark according to their ability. Somebody scored 40, some people score below 40. We believe that people who score below 40, they have failed. But you discover that somebody scored 5. Will you say the person who scored 5 has failed? No. That person has made a progress in learning. But the progress is not enough for pass mark. And that is innovative assessment. On traditional assessment, if you don't get anything close to 40, you have failed. So the orientation is shifting from traditional assessment to innovative assessment. That's what makes it assessment for learning, not assessment of learning. For traditional assessment, it's assessment of learning. Now that you have known that, oh, this person has made a progress, but the progress is not substantial enough, you know what to do as a teacher to improve that progress from point A to point B. Then another difference between the two is that little consideration for individual differences in capacity and rate of learning for traditional. We believe that, oh, we have taught them the same thing. After they are in the same class, I taught them, I exposed them to the same thing. But we don't give attention to individual differences. Some are fast learners, some are slow learners. Some have information from their parents and what have you. But for innovative assessment, learner-centered and more complex in outlook. It is learner-centered and it's based on individual. Little regard is given for employability, and it is for employability skills. When it is traditional assessment, we give little regard for employability skills. And this assessment is being administered once. I give you test once. You write exam once. Final year exam, you write it once. But on innovative assessment, the focus is not on just just passing. It's on transferable skills. You want to bring out the transferable skills in the students. That's why we have a lot of our graduates because of the traditional assessment that we use. I could listen where Mr. Gavin and Ms. Vivian was talking about that video. I saw that video too. Mr. Gavin was saying even some university, they don't have that kind of capacity in terms of equipment. I agree with you, hook, line, and sinker. That's because the emphasis was on employability skill, hands-on competencies, transferable skills. Traditional assessment is being administered at the end of the program or at the end of the course. So at the end of the term, at the end of the semester, even the so-called midterm test, it is at the end that we administer it. After you have taught for 4 weeks, you administer the midterm test. But for innovative assessment, it is administered continuously. If you can be given it every day, you give it. So at the end of the day, at the end of the term, you will pick the best of the best scores for the student. It means that the student has improved. You can't judge me because I scored 2 yesterday. I now use that 2 for me as continuous assessment for my exam. But for innovative assessment, you do it today, I score 2. You do it tomorrow, I score 3. You do it next tomorrow, I score 5. You do it next tomorrow, I score 6. I score 7. I score 8. Continuously, you have administered. You have been able to monitor my progress over a period of time. Don't forget, innovative assessment is to measure progress in learning. So at the end of the term, you won't pick 2 for me. You will pick 8 for me because you have been able to measure my learning outcome over time continuously. If you just take it once and you pick 2 for me, you have not done me well. And you have not been kind with your assessment. You have not been professional with your assessment. I might not know something yesterday, but I know it today after your class. Does that mean I've not learned anything? Will you still judge me with yesterday too that I scored? But I've learned new things. So innovative assessment is continuous. So it's used throughout the program. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, as many times as possible to measure the progress in learning. And if you are teaching every day, who says you cannot be having assessment at every end of a class to measure the progress in learning? Therefore, traditional assessment, the feedback is limited. But for innovative assessment, timely feedback is emphasized. Oh, Benga, you scored 2 yesterday. Now, oh, the one you did today, that was a good one, boy. Keep it up. You scored 3. That motivates me. Don't forget, innovative assessment for motivation. I want to do more because I know that tomorrow you give me feedback and you say it before the whole class that you said to them that I scored 2. The same you that announced that I scored 2 in class, you come back and say it to the class that I scored 7. That motivates me. It increases my confidence level. It puts my self-esteem. And that makes me to be glued to what you are teaching. It makes me to learn more and makes me to progress with my learning engagement. So let's look at the nuggets of innovative assessment. What makes innovative assessment innovative assessment? 1, fairness. Innovative assessment aims to provide climate of openness and trust. You must be fair. Students should be able to trust you as a teacher. Fairness and trust. There are also validity. The effectiveness of any assessment depends on the validity and reliability of the selected task. In research, there's what we call validity and reliability of the instrument that you are using to carry out research. What is validity? And this instrument is able to measure what I want to measure. That's validity. Let me give this example. I'm going to a farm, I'm a farmer, and I need to clear the bush. That is the task. But I need a cutlass. And there are so many instruments I could use to clear the bush. I could use cutlass, I could use hoe, I could use tractor. But I decided to use cutlass. Will the cutlass be able to cut the bushes? That is validity. Is it valid? Is it useful? Validity is talking about usefulness. You want to measure if I can cut, I can plant maize in a Greek, and you are using essay question that describe how to measure. That is why some of us will frown at alternative to practical. Alternative to practical doesn't measure anything. It takes us back to cognitive knowledge. Go and see when they started introducing alternative to practical, and in those days when we were doing practical, the difference is there. The alternative to practical, I can cram anything and come back to you and give back to you as alternative to practical. Because the skills were not measured. One of those days, the way they will have separate day for biology practical, separate day for physics practical, hands-on. So validity, usefulness of the question you are using. The reliability is talking about consistency. How that thing can bring out the outcome again and again. Consistency of the selected task. Then we'll talk about reliability. I've taken validity and reliability together. Assessment is considered more reliable when they consistently provide comparative marks across time, methods, and examiners. So innovative assessment must be fair. Innovative assessment must be valid. Innovative assessment must be reliable. Then the workload too. Integrating learning, teaching, and assessment through formative assessment activities. We need a manageable workload for learners. I see danger in Nigerian educational system where a primary 1 pupil or primary 3 pupil will be doing 13 subjects. Nursery 2 pupil in Nigerian schools, they are doing about 7 subjects, 8 subjects. For what? When the workload is much, then you subject the assessment to just rote learning. The workload must be minimal because at that level, what you are measuring is skills. And the skills that flies. Anyway, then applicability. We are looking at nuggets of innovative assessment. The learning needs of diverse learners should be addressed with the consequence of formative assessment and formative feedback. Each of those students in the class, they have different learning needs. And that must be into consideration. So that presents opportunities to practice and develop transferable skills. And you know one thing, the 24/7 skills, these are these problem solving, communication, group work, critical analysis, creating and presenting reports. Is it applicable? What you're assessing them on, is it applicable? I just gave you an example of alternative to practical. Is it applicable? Let's move on. What are the characteristics of innovative assessment? Before we go into types of innovative assessment. Innovative assessment measures applied proficiency rather than knowledge. Please underline that word. Applied proficiency is application rather than knowledge. Yes, you know how to plant maize because you have been exposed to alternative practical. Can you plant maize? That is why go and see most people that went to Polytechnic, that did engineering in Polytechnic, and those that did engineering in university. The differences are always there. Because from day one, I'm a product of both. I was in Polytechnic before I got the entry to university. I discovered that they are two different things. Are you aware, even in accounting, most people that pass ICANN and they started early, they are accountancy graduate from Polytechnic, not from university. So this applied proficiency we are looking at, not knowledge. You could know all the principles of accounting, but can you balance a petty cash book? You just got a job and they place you on a computer system. Not that you know how to boot a system, you know how to open. No. So the concept marking and projects, they are a good example of innovative assessment. Give them projects, put them in groups, let them go and do it. Another characteristic is that embedded in teaching and learning. It is an essential part of teaching and learning. It involves sharing learning goals with learners. So as a teacher, I share my goals with my pupil. And this is to help the learner to gauge their knowledge and recognize the standards they are aiming for. So from day one, your learner knows how they will be assessed. You don't keep it from them. You let them know the rubrics. I'll also talk about rubrics as we move on. So it therefore helps the student for self-assessment and in turn plans their own learning. They know how they will be assessed. They involve both teachers and pupils, reviewing and reflecting on the assessment data. It requires learners to develop responses rather than select from predetermined choices. Learners develop their responses. They elicit higher order of thinking beyond basic knowledge or skills. That's what innovative assessment does. It elicits higher order of thinking and directly appraises holistic projects, not facts. It uses samples of student work collected over time. So we have project portfolio for our students. You see, I'm concentrating this innovative assessment on area of our teaching, especially subjects that are not quantitative in nature, that you cannot easily, measure in terms of quantity. Mathematics it can be quantified. It's objective. 1 + 1 is 2. But in English, in some other subjects that are not quantitative, how do you assess it? And allow for possibility of various human judgment and opportunities. What are the innovative assessment tools? We are getting into the tools we can use for innovative assessment. Of checklists. So let's look at the strategy for using checklists for innovative assessment. What is a checklist? It's a set of criteria that the instructor uses to ensure students understand how to fulfill all requirements of a project or assignment. So a checklist is a tool or task accomplished, not a means of assessing acquired knowledge. We have asked students, oh, Mr. Gavin, give me an example of a project you have in physics. I could remember that while we were together at New Hall, we teach physics. Yes, I think I can still remember if my memory didn't fail me. Give me an example of a project. Mr. Gavin, are you there? Hello, is Mr. Gavin still there? Oh, Okay. Okay. Let me give an example. Traveling in Greek. You have asked a pupil to plant a maize.
Hello?
You have given them some portion of land.
Hello?
Well, you know that before planting.
Mr. Gavin.
Hello, Mr. Benga. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello?
Go ahead, I can hear you.
Yeah, Mr. Gavin, we can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you. We can hear you, Mr. Gavin.
Okay, let's move on. So I've asked the students to plant a maize. To plant maize, I haven't been apportioned a piece of land. The end product is not just the planting the maize. So there are processes to be followed. Of course, there should be clearing of land first. Apart from clearing of land, I should be able to know, after clearing of land, what did you do with the bush that you cleared? Did you burn them? Did you put them back on the... So each of this activity, I want to form my checklist. How did you clear the land? After that, what did you do to the land? Did you apply fertilizer? So I put all those activities there. Not that at the end of the day, as you just see, I come to your farm and I see a stem of maize going to, oh, this one is fantastic. Oh, good. And I score you 70 because your maize is robust. No, there should be a checklist of each of the steps that must be taken before you arrive at the maize. So in checklist, you bring out the activity involved in each of the steps. So the ends doesn't justify means. Innovative assessment. Process is what matters. At each of the processes, in each of the stages of the process, you put them down and you rate them. That's what we call checklist. Did it clear the land? You tick. Was the land properly cleared? You tick. Was this thing available? You tick. So the checklist is a tool of task accomplished. So to achieve the result, there must be tasks you must accomplish before you achieve the result. So I'm not scoring the results. I'm scoring the task. I'm assessing the task you engage in before accomplishing the result. That's a checklist. So in using checklist for assessment, it is a tool for identifying the presence or absence of knowledge, skill, attitude, or behavior. That's the checklist. It is used to identify if procedure, process, or activity has been accomplished or completed. Did you clear the farm? Did you fumigate the farm? Did you apply fertilizer on the farm? Did you burn the weeds that you pack from the farm? These are processes, these are activities, these are procedures that accumulate over time before you have the product all made that you have planted. So the itemized task description. Let me give an instance.
Sorry, Dr. Wenga. So Mr. Gavin actually sent something. He said he's trying to let his pupils measure the effect of exercise on heartbeat or heart rates rather. I don't know if you will take that for us.
That seems not to be a project. That's in PE, right? That's in physical education.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you drop that in the chat? Let me check.
Oh, yes, he did. Or that should be science, under science.
Yeah, but okay. Let me check. I'm asking grade 6 people to measure how exercise affects heart rate. Yes. Okay. Voice of the teacher on the Facebook and on YouTube. Okay. Please let us still know. You have is in performance is being recorded. I'm presently enjoying, and I hope my phone battery system is okay. Okay. Yeah, we are looking at projects now. Let's move on. So it is used to identify activities that will lead to the result, not just the result. I was trying to give an example in the vocational education entrepreneurship program in my university. At times you have the students who, because they have been exposed to skill acquisition, vis-a-vis cake making, bead making, footwear making, and what have you. Artisan comes from outside to train them. And you ask them to do same and submit that from their assignment. Before those things are not, because those things are not being measured, before you know it, somebody will just go and buy one footwear and go and buy one cake and bring it and submit in form of assignment that I've done it. Did you do it yourself? Because you did not measure the processes, because you did not measure the activities. So the itemized task description, I'm still talking about checklist. The itemized task description in one column, with space beside each other to check the completion. Oh, okay, let's say cooking of rice. Of course, there must be washing of pots. You must put fire on. You must wash the grains, put the grains on the pot with water. Each of these activity, you list them. If all these activities have been accomplished in a stepwise order, one by one, definitely you will have cooked rice. You can't just bring cooked rice and we expect it to assess you. What steps, what activity do you engage in about the cooked rice? That's what you checklist for. That's when I know that you have actually acquired the employability skill of being a chef. So it may be used to record observation of an individual or a group in a class. So you have asked them to perform an experiment, and you, for instance, in physics or biology, and you have a checklist of the procedure they must follow. And you are looking at them as they are performing the experiment, and you are thinking, oh, he added iodine to the yam that makes it turn black, wood black. Okay, he did this, he didn't do that. So it's a checklist of activity. And each of those activities carries a particular mark. So that is what you do with checklists. Now, what are the features of checklists? Checklists should have a criteria for success based on expected results. Did he clear the bush well? Did he clear the bush well? Was the bush well cleared? Or it was just to use cutlass to just graze the head, the head of the grasses, and the clearing of the bush for vegetable is quite different from the one you use to plant yam. So there's a criteria for success based on the expected results. It should be short and practical. It shouldn't be more than 1 page. Primary 6 or primary 5 people in basic technology, I asked them to construct, let's say, a box where, or a socket. And they are doing it in the class. I'm looking at them. So I have a checklist of what they are doing per time. It must be short. Then you must have tasks organized in a logical session, flow from the beginning to the end. Of course, You must clear the bush before you add fertilizer. So the task must be organized in the logical session. The task must highlight the critical task. Checklist must highlight the critical task. Before planting, there must be clearing of bush. And the checklist must be written in clear, detailed language in order to avoid misinterpretation. You ask them to clear the bush. To what level? To what level? Is it to just clear at surface, or you clear to the soil? To what level? Then the checklist must have additional space for other important information, such as comments. After you have listed all those tasks that you are expected to be carried out, then there must be space. I'm talking about you constructing checklists now as a teacher. So for some of our engagement, some of the projects we give students, we can assess those projects through checklists. Not that after they have submitted the projects, you now score them based on, oh, you have submitted, okay, I give you 50, I give you 20, I give you 30. What's led to the production of that project? There are activities, and these activities could be scored individually and becomes a cumulative score for the outcome. That's when we know that, oh, the people have actually learned something. When do you use checklists? Before you submit a research report for grading, learner can refer to a list of components the instructor needs in projects. We're providing this for research, title page, report, table of content, whatever. The instructor also may use a checklist to clarify expectations. So the learner use this guiding checklist to ensure they are meeting the assignment specific. So before you give them a project, to give students checklists, this is what you are doing. So the learner can use that to guide himself if he's right or doing the wrong thing. So the learner knows what you are assessing him or her on. That's why we say innovative assessment is for motivation and it is for learning, not of learning. I know that you're assessing me on this, so I use it to guide myself when I'm doing the assignment. I know the step to take because I have a checklist. So a checklist is a tool of tasks accomplished, not a means of assessing acquired knowledge, as I've said. Somebody might want to develop checklists. Like Dr. Benga, this checklist we are talking about, what is it all about? For people that are into research, yeah, a lot of us might be familiar with it. But as secondary school teacher, how do you develop a checklist? The first thing is that you set or review the expected learning outcome for the assignment or activity. Oh, what am I expecting? I'm expecting grown maize. That's the outcome. At what size? They now indicate the level of success required for the outcome to be completed. The level of success required for the choices to be considered completed, for the outcome to be considered completed. Then 3, you decide on the responses. Is it yes or no you want to use for checklist? I put it there. Did you clear the bush? Yes or no? Did you wash the plates before cooking? Yes or no? Or was it when she had started cooking, that was when she now washed the plates? So you decide on the response. And you could use either of the two. Then number 4, I'm talking about steps now in developing checklists. From a procedure, process, or task list, select the items that are required and acceptable delivery. That is, to what level? Acceptable delivery. if somebody has gone up to, it's not necessarily the project is completed. You have asked somebody to sew a brick, or to sew a cloth, or to, let me give another example in terms of skilled subjects. And before the end of the term, or the end, the person didn't complete that project. Or was the project completed to 70%? Was it completed to 60%? Was it completed to 80%? So what is the acceptable completed rates of the projects you have given? You should be able to describe that. Then group similar items or other items sequentially and keep them short. There are activities that are related. You group them together. In those different activities, when the project is being done, there are activities that are related. You group them together. Then you now highlight the critical steps, checkpoints, or indicators of success. What do you look for to say this person is successful? What are the indicators of success? Oh, I will say this project is successful because when I on the, what do you call it? The switch, you should be able to bring light. I'm using basic technology now. What's the indicator of success? What is the indicator of failure? You should be able to, at what rate? Okay, I have 10 activities that must be ticked, that must be checked. If somebody has checked 7 yes out of this, would that be regarded as success? Then number 7, there's need to write clear instruction for the person who will be observing or assessing. If you are assessing it directly or you are giving to somebody to assess, there must be clear instruction. These are the things you look out for. And after that, you now review the assessment description for details and clarity. Oh, all this, let's now review it for us to be clear. Then you format the checklist. This is when, if you want to develop the checklist you want to use for yourself. I'm teaching basic technology, I'm teaching basic science, and you have checklists to assess my students that I give projects. Now let's look at another one. Let's concentrate on these two for innovative assessment. And the other one we are looking at is rating scale. Rating scale. Rating scale. I just talked about checklists. Now let's look at rating scale. This kind of instrument for innovative assessment allows the instructor to indicate the degree or frequency of skill or behavior and strategy performed by the learner. What is the frequency of skill? Between 1 to 5. How can I rate this person? What is the degree of proficiency? I've asked Ms. Vivian and Mr. Garvey, they were in my class, and I placed them on computer to type a letter. And I want to rate them based on their speed and accuracy. So I'm using rating skill. So I'm using rating scale. In using the rating scale, I should be able to tell what is the proficiency level of Mr. Garvey, what is the proficiency level of Ms. Vivian. Within the range of 1 to 5. There are things I'll look out for. How many words does candidate A type per minute? How many words does candidate B type per minute? And I put that in scale. If I've established that, you should be able to type 20 words, 30 words per minute. At the end of the task, you type the candidate A type 20, another one type 15. I should be able to rate them based on the scale. The one who typed 20 out of 25, I should be able to give that person 4. The person who typed less, I should be able to put that person in perspective. That is the rating scale. So it measures the degree of skill performed by a learner. So I'll just measure them on speed. Then on accuracy, I want to measure them. What is the level of error that each of them committed? How many times that each of them use backspace to correct? When I'm chatting with you on WhatsApp and you delete your message often based on typo error, you are telling me that you are not proficient in terms of typing with specific attention to accuracy of typing. Do you understand? So it's very critical. It's not that, oh, stop, everybody stop. I say, oh, you type it well, oh, the front is well. No. So we give these students skills, we give them projects. We should be able to rate them based on the skill displayed. So they state the criteria and provide 3 or 4 responses selection to describe the quality or frequency of student work. And of course, rating scale can use to record observation. Learners can also use them for self-assessment. How do you understand how we can use rating scale now? When we see them do things in class, especially skill-based subjects, and don't forget, we are talking about innovative assessment, and learning should be able to impart on the learner employability skills, and these skills are transferable. Somebody might want to ask, is it only for cognitive or vocational subjects we can use innovative assessment for? No, we can use it for others too. I should be able to measure your affective using the rating scale too. I'm still coming there. Your level of honesty, I should be able to measure it using rating scale. Your level of, what do you call it? Apart from honesty, your level of kindness, I should be able to measure it using rating scale. I had an experience, I don't know if I've shared this on this platform. When a teacher, my son has been in the school since reception. After reception, KG1, KG2, nursery, and what have you, primary 1, primary 2. So in primary 2, a new teacher came to the school, and this boy has been scoring, has been taking 2nd position in class, and what have you. I know on your report sheet, you have quantitative aspects and you have qualitative aspects where they measure their attitude and what have you. And there was a time that teacher had issue with my boy. He said something not pleasant to the boy, and we have trained them that anything anybody tell them outside, they should be confident enough to tell us. They are very open to us. What informed this our decision to train our children this way? Because of the issue that happened in Doe. That boy was killed because that boy was not open to his parents. Probably the boy is fidgeting, the parents couldn't, We don't want our children to see us as Lion Tribe of Judah. Our students should be able, our children should be able to open up to us anytime, any day. Even if they have done something wrong, Daddy, I did this. We give them that level of training. So anything you do for them outside, they'll come home and tell us. Even if they are wrong, they will tell us. It was a law. It is a law in my house. So this boy came home and told us that the teacher said this and that. And we knew that the boy couldn't have lied against the teacher. The teacher actually said that. And I called the HM. So teacher says also to my boy, no, I won't tolerate that. I don't want anybody to destroy his self-esteem. Yes, the boy is active, he's agile, he's is up and doing, he could turn the class upside down. That's where the skill of a teacher comes on. You should be able to learn how to manage your classroom. Classroom management is a vital aspect of teacher training. You don't expect all your people in your class to be at the same level. Some will be hyperactive, some will be active, some will be docile. You have to manage them. So he said one wrong, abused the boy, and the boy came to tell us. And I called the teacher. One your teacher. I don't tolerate that as a parent. I'm also a teacher and I train teachers. And the teacher said, no, the boy was lying against him. The boy will not lie against you on such words, such weighty words. So during the end of the term, the teacher now, we didn't even see it. It was later we saw it. Now, on honesty, the teacher now scored my son. When my wife called my attention to it, first thing I did was to go and retrieve all the results of the boy from nursery school to primary 2, and I kept all the results. I was looking for the assessment of honesty. And I discovered this boy has been scoring A, B, A, B, A, B. I think he has more A than B. And I said, no. As a trained teacher, and I've been trained on qualitative assessment, I won't take this. There is no way a pupil will drop from A to E or B to E. In worst case scenario, the boy could drop to C. And that tells you as a teacher that you call our attention, and this boy is lying spot on. Let's know as a parent what to do with him. And I took that result. I went back to the school. And I told the owner of the school that, and I brought the evidences that see this boy. Because of something that happened between this boy and this teacher. And the boy reported to us. And we came to school to report to the teacher. And the teacher now scored in A. As parents, we are not taking this. We are rejecting this result. I told the head of the school. The head of the school apologized. And it was obvious that the teacher subjectively scored that boy E. And one thing about qualitative assessment is that it will rubbish all the quantitative assessments. Can you imagine somebody taking second position and you are saying the person is not honest? Then you have destroyed everything. I say, if we want to take this to another school, you can't take this result. Because this is bad. They collected the result, they called the teacher to order. The teacher was coded, and they wrote this. The teacher actually confessed that the boy lied against him. That is to show you how subjective qualitative assessment could be. So, this scale, it gives some level of measurement. If this boy has been lying for 3, 4, 5 times, you can score him E. But because of one thing that happened between you and the boy, I'm not saying easier. No, we rejected it. So that is rating scale for you. It must be specific, clear, distinguishable terms. It must be short and practical. It must highlight critical skill or task. And if applicable, it is important to indicate the level of success required before proceeding further. Then the best way to use the rating scale is to do peer review before being used in an assessment. You do peer review. What's peer review? You ask Mr. Gavin and Ms. Vivian to review it, to look at things that should be there or things that should not be there. You now come to a point of agreement. That is how you use rating scale. Let's move further because of our time. How do you develop a rating scale? The first, you review the learning outcome. For these two instruments of innovative assessment, it is important you review the learning outcome. What are you expecting? At the end of the lesson, what are you expecting that the pupil should be able to do, the student should be able to do? So you review the learning outcome and associated criteria to be used to gauge the success. So what am I expecting them to do? Then how can I gauge that they have done it? How can I measure that they have done it? At what level? What will I see? What will be the pointer? What will be the flashpoint to show that, oh, this person has learned? Then you decide on a scale. Are you using words of a scale? Are you using words with number? Words could be often, frequently, rarely, mostly. And of course, we are familiar with Likert scale. Likert scale is a form of rating scale. Agree, strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree. That is rating scale with words. For us as teacher now, our rating scale could be fair, moderate, better or good, better, excellent, awesome, outstanding. That's the rating scale because it shows the degree of proficiency. So you should decide on the scale to use. Are you using words? Are you using numbers? Are you combining numbers with words? So to represent the different levels of success. And number 3, in developing rating scale, you develop a description or meaning. Okay, Dr. Adebayo, thank you so much. So you decide, you develop a description of meaning of each point of the scale. If you say fear, what makes it fear? Is it 1 of 5 that makes it fear? Is it 2 of 5 that makes it moderate? Is it 3 of 5 that makes it average? If you know you can't undo, it's very difficult for you to describe what constitutes each level, each scale, or each rating. It's better you use figure, numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even at that, you constitute what is 1. You describe what makes up 1. And that's when we go to rubrics. When we get to rubrics, we'll deal with that more. Then after that, you list the category of performance that we assessed. You clearly describe each skill. You arrange the skill in a logical order. Then you analyze the critical step, checkpoints, and indicate the success. Let's move on. Of course, the concluding step you have to take in developing rating skills that you write clear instruction for the observers. Then you review the rating skill for clarity and ample details. You format the skill. There's always good you do peer review of your skill. So rating scales are value judgments about attributes of one individual by another individual, and are used to conduct structured observation. So I'm looking at students carrying out a project or doing an assignment in bricklaying, in some other skill-based subjects, and I'm observing them and I am scoring them. Or I'm observing them on how, in let's say, clothing and textile. I'm seeing how one is holding the scissors. I'm seeing how the other one is cutting, and I'm rating them based on the skill they are displaying. So it gives a value judgment about the attribute that somebody carries. I've just asked Mr. Gavin and Ms. Vivian to swim, and I want to rate them. I want to see the strokes they want to use. I want to see how they manipulate, and I'm rating them based on their attributes. Attributes are characteristic based on the skill they have displayed over time. Now, we look at activity. Okay, I just gave an example. For instance, in agri, pre-planting season, there are activities: land clearing, stomping, tilling of soil, making of ridges, nursery preparation. You could see that the planting of maize was divided into 3 different activities. And each of these 3 activities has sub-activities. Of course, for any farm produce to be planted, there must be pre-planting, planting season, then post-planting season. What are the things I want to rate during the planting season or pre-planting season? Of course, there must be land clearing. There must be stomping, tilling of the soil, making of the ridges and vegetable beds, and nursery preparation. How good is the land cleared? I rate it. How good did you do the stomping? I rate it. Tilling of the soil. Then the planting activity. There are activities there too. The sowing of the nursery, the transplanting, I rate them. So you see that from all these, it is not the harvest of the corn that attracts the mark, but what constitutes the project called corn planting before you come to the end point of harvest. So we can use it for our projects. And we divide each aspect of the project and we describe the activities that must be carried out and we rate it. That is normative assessment. You are being objective. And students must know all these things before the commencement of the project. So they know what you are expecting them to do. They know what are expected of them. And they try to take the step to do all these things step by step. They won't check it, have I done this? So it's from a pre-assessment for them. That's why it is said it is assessment for learning. So you are assessing them at the same time, they are assessing themselves and they are learning the steps, not assessment of learning. I hope somebody is following. Hello, am I talking to somebody? Is somebody there?
Sure, sir, we can hear you.
Thank you. Then let's go to rubrics of assessment. In vocational and skill-based now, pre-vocational, of course, in nursery, primary, we talk about pre-vocational. Even at junior secondary school is pre-vocational. It is when you get to senior secondary school, that's when we talk about vocational elective. So what are rubrics? What do we call rubrics? What does it mean? What's the definition of a rubrics? It's a scoring tool for subjective assessment. As skill-based subjects are usually subjective to assess. So it's a set of criteria and standard linked to learning objective. From day one, you link the criteria, the standard, you link it to the learning objective. This is what you want to achieve. And this is how to determine if what you want to achieve has been achieved. Used to assess a student performance on projects, essay, other assignment, especially alternative and authentic assessment. So it can be used for performance-based assessment that evaluates student performance on a given task or a set of tasks that lead to final products or learning outcome. So it's a form of a matrix grid. Each level of a rubric describe the degree of proficiency. Each level would describe the degree of proficiency. And of course, it assigns a value that rates the degree of student performance. There must be a value attached to the degree. Let's move forward. What are the benefits of rubrics? Why do we use rubrics? What are the benefits? It makes students aware of all expectations related to the assessment task. Like this that I showed you the other time. Like this that I showed you. This is an example of rubrics. Pre-assessment, you have showed them what to expect. Pre-planting, you have showed them what to expect. Planting, you have showed them. Post-planting, you have showed them. This is a rubric. This is an example of rubrics. So it showed them what to expect. Real references need to be addressed for effective practical implementation of this. Okay, I'll come back to the chat session. I'm seeing some people are dropping some chats. So what are the benefits of rubrics? It makes students aware of the expectation related to the assessment task. But in the traditional assessment, students are not always aware of the expectation related to the task. They are not always aware. For innovative assessment, You tell them what you are expecting, what they are expected to do, what they are expected to learn from day one. So what lecturers look for in a piece of work has been left to discretion of that lecturer. But when using rubrics, students need to know how they can be assessed. Students should know how you assess them. You don't have the authority to keep the assessment or how to assess them from the students. No, they should know. So when they know how to be assessed, definitely they will work in that way. And by so doing, they will learn. And they will learn to acquire those skills. So it helps students evaluate their own work as it progresses. These are benefits of rubrics. And help facilitator apply consistent standard when assessing qualitative tasks. It promotes consistency in sharing marking. Two, these are benefits of rubrics. Then, what are rubrics? Rubrics rating. For rating scale, you could use numerals, as you have seen in that one example I gave to you with respect to agriculture, planting, replanting, and whatever. You could use numerals. It could be qualitative, it could be combination of numbers and words. Therefore, rating scale, it could be holistic scale that is offers several dimensions together. Rating scale too could be analytical scale, a separate one from various dimensions. That rubrics rating. What is the purpose of rubrics? Why are we using rubrics? Because if you don't use rubrics, you can just give there's what we call it block marking. Aha. Most of the time we do block marking. Rubrics allow for standardized evaluation according to specific criteria. It makes grading simpler and more transparent. That somebody scored 40, somebody scored 50. And person can't tell how they score 50 or 60. Students should be able to tell how they score the mark they were given. That's why you see that when students score 70, they say, oh, I scored 70. When they score 20, they say, oh, the man gave me 20. Because they were not open to the rubrics. The assessment was not innovative. The assessment was not for learning, it was of learning. An attempt to delineate consistent assessment criteria that allows instructor and student to assess criteria that may be complex and subjective. So you separate such assessments. That's the purpose. You can delineate, you can differentiate that kind of assessment criteria. And also, another reason for rubrics is that to provide grounds for self-assessment. You have said that. Then you can reflect on where you did well, where you didn't do well. For another time, oh, it was in this area that I didn't do well. Oh, it was in planting season that I didn't do well. Oh, it was in post-planting season that I didn't do well. Then peer review. They can compare themselves with what other people did and they learn. Peer review brings about peer tutoring. Then expectation. We provide ground for expectation. With what I've done, I cover all the rubrics. I think I did well. I should be able to score A. And at the end of the day, you discover that I scored A because I know the expectation. I know the basis upon which I'll be assessed. And I did everything to work towards that. So I have confidence that I will score A. So it boosts my expectation and it motivates me to do more. So it is important. Ensure accurate and fair assessment. Foster understanding and indicates the way to proceed with teaching and learning. How can I use assessment rubrics? One, assessment in a course. You can use assessment rubrics when you're assessing a course. For capstone projects, end of the term projects, you can use assessment rubrics. For research, you can use assessment rubrics. Designing a project, you can use assessment rubrics. For learning portfolio, what is learning portfolio? Probably some other day we'll look at this. What students have been able to learn over a period of time, each student must have a learning portfolio. You have assessed them, and each of those assessments, you are putting it in their portfolio. In a semester, in a term, I gave you over 15 or 20 different forms of continuous assessment. All those continuous assessments, I put it in a portfolio. That shows the progress you have made over time. That is your learning portfolio. It shows what you have learned over a period of time on different subjects. So each of my students have learning portfolios on different subjects. I want to conclude with this. That is not the biggest or the brightest or the best that will survive as teachers. Those that will survive this 21st century teaching profession. Globally recognized competitive teacher. They are those who can adapt the quickest. Not using the knowledge of yesterday, not using the knowledge of what they have learned. A lot of us, we are familiar with formative and formative assessment and what do you call it? Summative assessment.
Yeah.
Now we are talking about innovative assessment. That it is assessment for learning, not assessment of learning. Summative and formative assessment, they are assessments of learning. We want to learn at the end of the time, we give them assignment, we give them tests. That is, you are measuring the learning outcome. But with innovative assessment, we are not only measuring the learning outcome, we are measuring the learning itself, the change in behavior, the degree to which the students have learned. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. I draw the curtain. Thank you. I appreciate you for this privilege.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Akintola. It's a wow moment for me. It has been a wow moment indeed. I don't know. I just want to ask if there's any question from anybody. Any question. Let's just throw our questions at him. Just one or two questions we have. Anybody? Anybody with any question? Nobody. So I want to ask you, I just have a question for you, Mr. Akintola.
Hello.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for this innovative assessment training section. So I want to know this innovative assessment. Can we also apply it in nursery schools?
There is no level where you cannot apply innovative assessment. Don't forget, our take-home should be innovative assessment is assessment for learning, not assessment of learning. As a matter of fact, it is more even foundational to start with people at nursery school. Because at that level, we are building their behavior, we are building their skills, we are building their character. So we can monitor the progress of development over time. Yes. And the answer is yes, yes, yes. You can apply innovative assessment at any level.
Okay. So Dr. Adebayo has a question. His hand is up. Dr. Adebayo, can we have you? Can we have your question? Dr. Adebayo, can you hear? Dr. Adebayo, can you hear me, please? Okay, I've asked you to unmute.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you, my dean.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Please.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me, doctor?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. My dean.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, dean. Go ahead, sir.
We can hear you, sir.
We can hear you.
Maybe Mr. Gavin, I guess he's experiencing what you just experienced. Maybe you should just chat him up. Let him go out.
I want to chat him up now, yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So, Dr. Akintola, as Mr. Gavin is trying to take charge of that, solve that problem, I have another question. Hello, Mr. Akintola, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay, so with this knowledge, I don't know, but somehow I don't know why I'm afraid that if this knowledge, circulates, because honestly, this is the first time I'm hearing about this. In as much as I think schools are practicing it, maybe they don't know what they are practicing. You get, because that sometimes you see some schools doing a lot of CAs, that's continuous assessment. Does this somehow have something to do with innovative assessment, continuous assessment? Some schools, they keep doing continuous assessment, CA1, CA2, CA3, you get, but I don't think it's not like a typical, innovative assessment, right? Hello, Dr. Akintola, can you hear me?
I can hear you. The question is, you can continue to do something and you are not doing the right way.
Exactly.
Okay. It is not enough to be doing continuous assessment.
Okay.
What are you using to assess those students over and over again? I talked about validity and reliability.
Yes.
Someone said doing the same thing, the same time over and over again and expecting different results. He said it's a definition of insanity. You are doing continuous assessment. How have you been doing that continuous assessment? What is the intention? What do you want to achieve with that continuous assessment? Are you assessing them to learn? Learning outcome. Is it assessment for learning or assessment of learning? You are doing it again and again. Are you measuring their progress? Are you even using the right tool to measure the learning outcome? If you are giving them essay over and over again, you are giving them more objective over and over again. Objective and okay, are you aware, Ms. Vivian? Well, by the grace of God, I've been in the field of education for, let me see, I've been in the field of education since since 2000, about 22 years now. I've been in the field of education. That was when I gained direct entry admission into the Faculty of Education. And by the grace of God, I've been an external examiner to NECO. I've been an external examiner to JUPEB. I've marked exam for JUPEB. I've been an external examiner to go and monitor examination center for NECO. You know what people do when it comes to marking essay. We don't have rubrics for essay. Even what we call marking guide, do we spell out the rubrics? We just write the statement and we put mark to it. The rubrics are not detailed. So it's not enough to have continuous assessment over and over again. The continuous assessment, are you using it to monitor the progress of learning? You understand? It's not enough that school does do that, but what is the purpose of doing it? How many school has learning portfolio for their pupil? That when I call on you now as a teacher, can I have learning portfolio of your students in subject A, subject B, subject C? Do you have the collection of what your students have done over time with respect to a particular subject in terms of project, assignment, and what have you? Do you have them? And that's what you use, innovative assessment. So it's not enough to be doing continuous assessment. Let me shock you, man. I stand to correct it. Those schools that are doing learning as they are doing CA over and again, it could be a form of finding a way to engage the students. Because, let me leave it at that. I hope my answer is clear.
Okay, yes, yes, sir. Sorry, I'm coming in again. So, for example, I just want to get this clearer, and also for the benefit of people that will be listeting to us that might think along the way I'm just thinking right now. So, sir, from innovative assessment, does it mean that, when a topic is being treated under one subject, okay, so you assess the children, the pupils, you assess them at that particular period that this topic has been done in order to, understand their progress of learning, okay, on that, aspect, on that topic. Now, when you get it, just like something we call, what's it called? Class work, like class assessment.
Okay.
Yes. So from what I'm understanding about this innovative assessment, it's like trying to emphasize on classwork immediately after teaching in order to understand your child's, the students' progress so far at that moment, right? Am I correct?
Yes. You see, daily classwork help, which is very important.
Okay.
But not only that, you use classwork to measure what students have been able to learn as far as that lesson is concerned, right?
Yes.
But knowing that that lesson has an objective, has a skill you want to measure from that lesson.
Skill is the skill you should emphasize.
You understand?
Yes.
The skill you want to measure in lesson A might be quite different from the skill you want to measure in lesson B. You took a topic today. There's a particular skill attached to that topic I want the student to acquire.
Yeah.
By the time
Because
you
of
take
the
another
objective.
do you understand? Because of the objective. These things are
Yes.
interrelated, they are interconnected. By the
Yeah.
time you take another topic tomorrow or next tomorrow, based on the timetable, the skill you want them to acquire is quite different from the one you did earlier.
Yes.
You understand? So
Yes.
you use that, and you don't just take that one of today just once. Because on this skill, I can score 2 today, and you now move to tomorrow and teach another subject to measure another skill. On the one I scored 2, you should be able to come back there and measure it again and again and again, and you re-emphasize it. Because we discovered that you did class assessment today, and I scored 2. Some score 5, some score 7, and you move on. You do another one tomorrow, another topic, another one next tomorrow, another topic. Have I learned from where I scored 2? You have seen that I scored 2. What have you done to move me from 2 to 7? Which means you must revisit that. You must pay me attention to improve my learning skill in that area, and you reassess me to show that I've moved from point 2 to point 7. So you don't just do lesson assessment once, classwork once, and you move on. Let's assume in a term you have 12 topics, and each of the classes, each of the lessons are to measure different skills. If in each of your classes you are doing classwork, ordinarily in a term you have 12 CA. Yes or yes?
Yes, yes, sir.
And you say you have 12 CA, somebody will say, you have done well. You try your 12 CA. For one subject, 12 CA. You are good. But is that 12 CA representative of what I've learned or what I've acquired? Because on a particular skill, you have only measured me once. Go and check the characteristics of innovative assessment. You do it continuously. So it means on that skill that I measure, that I scored 2, you should be able to work on me as a student, improve on me, and you continue to measure me to monitor my progress until I score 7 or 8 out of 10. If it will cost you to take 20 assessments, it might not be for the whole class now, at least for those of us that we are lagging behind. We continue to measure it to be sure we have improved. We are measuring our progress to be sure that we have improved. And that goes into our learning portfolio over time on one skill. You do that for other skills. So it's not enough that you have 12 topics and you have 12 classwork, you have 12 CA. No, continuously. So you pick the best. I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Dr. Adebayo said he sent you a message in the chat room. So he's trying to say.
I'm saying it that how practicable
Okay.
is this modern approach of assessment in measuring the level of cognitive domain?
Yes.
With your submission, it seems this modern approach of assessment is suitable at measuring psychomotor of learning. What's your thing? Yes, I've said that. Cognition is about what you can learn, the use of your brain, where there are cognitive skills anyway. You can use it, you will use it mostly for skill-based subjects. But even for cognitive, you can use it. I'll give you an example. Critical thinking is a cognitive skill. You know, you have cognitive skill, you have affective skill, and you have psychomotor skill, which is vocational skills.
Yeah.
You agree with me that critical thinking is a cognitive skill, but it has to do with brain. Ability to think.
Yeah.
Problem solving is a cognitive skill. You can use innovative assessments too. It's just a matter of giving them a problem, or you put them in a group, and you measure how they deliberate, how they discuss issues, their analysis of issues. So innovative assessment could be used for any of the domains, be it cognitive, be it affective, be it psychomotor. Provided you are measuring skill, you are not measuring knowledge. You can use innovative assessment to measure skill in any of the domains, and all of the domains have skills. For cognitive domain, we have cognitive skill. I just give an example of critical thinking, problem solving. For affective, there are skills, there are social skills. Emotional intelligence is a social skill. And there are other social skills. Communication is a social skill. Relationship management is a social skill. Group cohesion, teamwork is a social skill. These are in the realm of the affective domain. So you can use innovative assessment for any of the domains, provided the emphasis is on skill, not knowledge. Dr. Adebayo, do I make myself clear, sir?
Yeah, doctor, you are well done.
Thank you, sir.
God bless. But you can still address some of the other questions I raised.
Yes, I am looking at them. Dr. Adebayo said, "Oh, attempts to be made to address all other questions." Okay, I will. Doctor, I am unable to connect. Okay. The role of relevant stakeholders. Okay, let me take it from here. Well done, Dr. Lubenga. You are making us okay. Based on your presentation so far, I am of the opinion that there is need for more training on issues related to how to generate checklists and written skill for meaningful application of this modern approach to assessment. Yes. Well, if schools want us to come and train, see what I've just delivered in less than 2 hours. This thing can take us up to 1 or 2 weeks to put our hands on it, on how to develop checklist or rating skill. Well, this took me a whole lot of years to learn it as a PhD student. And I started learning it while I was even doing my master's degree. So it's a whole lot of time. These are the things that you can learn within the shortest period of time. You know, a lot of things have to go into it. Why not, if schools are open, why not we come and train their teachers in the area of innovative assessment? You can have this that you have delivered in 2 hours can take us 1 solid week to do for a school. So the stakeholders of relevant stakeholders, the role of relevant stakeholders needs to be addressed for effective practical. Yes. Who are the relevant stakeholders? You and I, we are critical stakeholders. You know, we talk about relevant stakeholder. Within the relevant stakeholder, there are critical stakeholders. We are all relevant, but some of us are critical. Parents is a relevant stakeholder. Teacher is a relevant stakeholder. The students, the environment, the school owners, but teacher is a critical stakeholder. Because somebody said, and of it's a universal assertion, that every education, the success of every education is being determined by the teachers. So teachers are critical stakeholders. So our role now as critical stakeholder is that we must upskill. That is why it pains me that we have few people listening to this now. As we speak, we just have three of us. At the point I was seeing 8, but we just have 3, no problem. So we must upskill. For the school owners, we need to carry them along to let them know that there are new ways of doing things. For our colleagues that are not here, we need to encourage them to acquire more skills. For the parents, we need to encourage them to support school in training the teachers and what have you, and they should always ask for the best from the school. For the government, you can only make advocacy campaign on teachers' development and upskilling. And that is what we can do. So our role we have diverse role and different roles to play as relevant and critical stakeholder. Okay, I'm looking at
Wow, Mr. Winga, as we were talking, I was also thinking, maybe I'll call you after this, okay, so that we can even see how we can, come into Lagos, how you can, do this for schools, as you said. Maybe I'll just call you, for us to even, try to talk about this, how we can go about it. It's actually a good one, and so as far as I'm concerned, many of us are not yet aware of this. And many proprietaries also, they're not aware of this. They're not using it, So I guess I'll call you after this.
No problem. I'll be available to do that. It's a product of research of many years. I'll be available to do that, really. And even at this level too, I still learn. I still go for conferences outside the country. I'm with you. I'll be glad to do that.
Okay. All right. So have you finished, Dr. Adebayo?
Yes. I thought Mr. Gavin wants to ask a question. He's saying something or contribute to it. Oh, Mr. Gavin is no longer online.
No, he is. He is.
Mr. Gavin, let's hear from you.
Mr. Gavin, can you hear us? I think he's connecting to audio. His audio is not on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. His audio is not on. Mr. Gavin? Okay, he's there. He's here now. Mr. Gavin, unmute yourself. Or do I have to give you permission? Mr. Gavin, please unmute yourself.
Hello?
Yes. Did you hear what Dr. Akintola asked? Did you hear what he asked you?
No, I just came in now. The network has been terrible.
Oh, sorry about it.
Okay, please go ahead, sir.
Yes, I said, do you have any contribution to this question?
Yes, sir. Very, 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 very important. Yes. So you've been mentioning skills, I'm currently teaching in the primary school. And one of the things you need to understand is some of the curriculum you get does not even reflect the skills a child should have. Most of those things, curriculum, only reflects Bloom's first and second tier. That's understanding, remembrance, nothing like most of those show application and all that. So is that not a limitation for this method you're talking about?
You see, curriculum is basic minimum standard. Anywhere you see curriculum, go and check. By the grace of God, of course, I work at all levels of Nigerian educational system. I've taught at National Primary School. I've been a school principal. When I left New Orleans, I was a school principal. I teach in the Faculty of Education. And I've been part of NUC accreditation. There's a course called Early Childhood Education. In my university, I teach on that program. Every curriculum is basic minimum standard. So what that means is that anything that is minimum still has room for improvements, has room for innovation, has room for addition. If it is basic minimum, it means as a teacher, what makes it unique is that you can show some level of dexterity in what you are doing. You can identify skills that are related to each of those lessons. And you go ahead to do it. And I have challenged with most of our curriculum in Nigeria. And I'll tell you, I did the research sometimes. I look at the comparative, so I did a comparative study of Nigeria educational system with such of Finland and what have you. I discovered that in advanced country, they emphasize skills, don't emphasize cognitive knowledge, so to say, that you should be able to understand, you should be able to learn. Even at nursery and primary school, they emphasize skills. And that was what Maria Montessori was emphasizing. And that was the assumption of Montessori. I just practicing Montessori in this country. We don't know the place of that Montessori. There are a lot of schools say we are practicing Montessori, and you are still emphasizing cognitive knowledge. I know Ms. Vivian is an expert. Vivian is an expert in Montessori. You know that even at that level, skills are being emphasized. I was somewhere last week, yes, no, in the course of the week, I think Monday or Tuesday, Monday, and somebody told me, a principal of the school told me that they have different curriculum. They have one from state, and they even have one from Association of Private School Proprietors. I said, what? You mean private school proprietors develop curriculum? Are they curriculum experts? Do they know anything about curriculum? Private school proprietors are people who just have money to, some of them, not all, some of them are educationists though. But that is not a recognized curriculum developing body. At least as far as Nigerian education system is concerned, NERDC is still the body that develops Nigerian curriculum and constitutes so many organs of the country. So the curriculum being given to you, Mr. Gavin, is basic minimum. You can add to it. And that makes you to be unique. That makes your school to be unique. That makes what you are doing to be exceptional. I hope that is clear. So don't limit yourself to the basic minimum. Look for the skill base, and that's what makes your student to be different from other students. Look for the related skill and try to impart it on those students. See, using that curriculum, you can be innovative with that curriculum. That is application of that curriculum to skill base. So those expectations that the student should be able to learn, to be able to understand, you can add skill expectation to it. You have to be able to do this based on the knowledge. If you go through Bloom's taxonomy of knowledge, Bloom's taxonomy, you know, that hierarchy, it talks about knowledge, comprehension, analysis, synthesis. Do you understand? The upper level is application. So if you stop there, at each level, you can have applied knowledge, and that's where the skill is being emphasized. I hope I've been able to answer your question. So you can go beyond the curriculum. You can add to the curriculum for skill impartation. Are you there, Mr. Gavin?
Thank you, Doctor. Secondly, like you said you heard myself and Ms. Vivian discussing something. A school in the US, was in Canada now?
Yeah, Canada.
Where the doctor was training on actual skills You know, we are actually very, very far off. And our realities are actually very, very far from the international standards, the world expectation. Our education is not meeting up, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is very, very key, because one of the things I believe is, if as a child begins to experiment with all these things outside his head knowledge, the child will easily find their passion.
Sure.
And once they find their passion, like I was teaching the ESS class, and they were telling me this, like, would they use these things? And I told them that if you find your passion now, basically you won't be going through normal school. You'll be going through the training of, if it's financial aspect you're going to, this financial math you'll be learning. You will not need to do dy dx, you know, that kind of stuff. So, but the problem still is still the educational system as a whole. It needs to be reworked.
Well, you see, when we talked about system, Mr. Gavin, you agree with me that the word system is being described as interrelated parts. It's a coming together of components that we call system. You go by system theory by Bertalanffy.
Yeah.
Talking about system is an interrelated and integrated part, interconnected and integrated part. So which means there are components. We as teachers, we are a component. Parents are component, school component, the government component. So when we say system, we don't put everything on the government. At our own level, what are we doing? And this is why I vow to give every support to Ms. Vivian on this. This is our own territory. And we are contributing our quota by dispensing knowledge within our ambit of influence. We are contributing our quota. So let's continue to push the frontier. Let's continue to advance the frontier at our level. Hoping others will wake up and join us. And when they see, oh, these people are moving too. And when parents see that, oh, these people are moving, their children are quite different, their children are doing well. I know now that the knowledge we have acquired here will be eager to quickly apply it in our classroom. By the time we apply it and our students are coming out with flying colors, with competitive skills, transferable skills, and parents are observing, wow, who is your teacher? Oh, Mr. Gavin. Oh, Mr. Gavin must be doing something fantastic. And before you know it, Mr. Gavin is getting an award here and there, and the teachers in school begin to ask, Mr. Gavin, what happened? Where have you been to? What have you done? This and that. And at your own level, at our own level, we become rallying points. We become influencers of opinion. So at our own level, being the part of the system, what we can do is what we are doing for ourselves now, upskilling. Tending to know more beyond what the system is giving us. Because a time is coming, I bet you, the system will need us to run the system. I can repeat that. A time is coming when we continue this that we are doing. Nigeria educational system will need you and I to come and run the system for them. I belong to a lot of teachers' education platform. There is one I'll still introduce you to. Presently, the leader of that platform is in Finland presently. We've been in Finland for over a month to study the educational system in Finland. And it's going from one school to another, going from faculty of education of one university to another. He's coming back to come and give us that information. I'm part of that community. So that community has over 400 teachers in Nigeria.
Is it impact leadership?
You said?
Is it impact leadership?
No, Nigerian teachers run by Dr. Peter Gudoro. Okay. That community won Facebook Accelerator Award in 2021. It's about teachers' capacity development. So at our own level, being part of the system, we will be doing what we're supposed to do. Equipping ourselves. That opportunity is coming, and I bet you the opportunity is massive. Now we are talking about innovative assessments now. Now imagine the ripple effects that this knowledge will have on our circle of influence. Now, Mr. Gavin is aware about innovative assessment. Mr. Gavin is aware about it. Vivian is aware about it. And individually, we have circle of influence. By the time we begin to talk about it, it will have ripple and cascading effects. It will become a rallying point. So what we need to do now as part of the system that we gather every skill needed to be at the driver's seat of this progression. I bet any devil that in this progression, I'll be at the driver's seat. I will not be at the receiving end because this is the progression I've chosen to take. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't plan to be one. I'm not a lawyer. I don't plan to be one. But with this teaching, I will be a decision maker. I promise every devil to be at the driver's seat here. So that is why I will continue to learn and learn more till the system is being handed over to us to run. So, Mr. Gavin, let's do what we can do. What we can do, let's leave it because we'll get there. That's just my take on that. We might not be able to change the government, but at least we can upskill our capacity. Yeah, that's just my take.
Okay, sorry, sir. Just a quick one. You talked about the body in curriculum development. Please, can I get that body's name?
About what?
Body is in charge of curriculum development in Nigeria.
NERDC.
Okay.
Nigeria Educational Research Development Council. Yeah.
Council. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Their office at Jibo, Yaba. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, really? Okay. Thank you so much for this information.
You're welcome.
Then, sir, please. I don't know if others are interested. I'm interested in that community you said you belong. Can you give us link as a
definitely,
or put us to help us to link us to the platform?
Definitely, I will.
All right. Guess who I just noticed that is in our midst? Ijoma. You won't believe it. Ijoma is here.
My senior. Is IJ here?
Yeah,
now what for now?
IJ, let me hear your voice now.
I decoded it.
Which kind of senior? Please, Prof.
IJ, you be my senior.
Well done. I've been listening. Good evening, Gavin. Good evening, Doctor. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, IJ.
Nice to hear your voice.
Same here. Is the passion in Benga's voice? As in, I'm just like, yes.
I'm telling you. The passion is too much.
So cool.
IJ, you and I will be product of Mr. Louis now. You know, those things are still there now.
Those kind of things. It is well. Our time will come. When they'll come and look for us.
Don't mind each other. Each was supposed to join us on that future chat stuff.
Okay.
The future edit, yes. Chat told me, oh man, but well, I forgive her. I understand.
IJ, remember me, your kingdom.
I beg, stop. Let me show my face. Benga, show your face.
Please show your face.
Wait. Before you start showing your own, now wait for me to show my own. Why is it saying privacy something? Wait, allow Zoom to access your camera. Privacy. Problem. Oh, no. Let's see if I can work this out.
Hey, IJ want to see my face, yo.
Me technology not leave me behind though. Where did they come out camera from? Wait, let me try. Stop incoming video. Why? Show selfie, touch. Let's see if it will work now.
Okay, I think I'll stop sharing.
Oh. Let me go to my settings and look for.
You know, when people don't hammer now, that's why they be. IJ, just remember me, your kingdom, man.
What is Benga talking about?
You know now, IJ. Are they here?
I'm still looking for how to add value. We never ever begin to add value.
Imagine.
We need
Are they here? Your boy is still here.
Okay, I think it's going to work now. Hold on. It's I don't do, Father.
I hope you can see my face now.
Guess what?
Mr.
Guess what I
Wenga.
did? Hey, am I missing the face?
This is the first time Mr. Wenga is even coming up on our video.
I just demanded it.
Wait, oh,
I
I'm
just
not
said that
there.
you show
Wait,
my
oh,
face
please,
now.
oh. Hey, I'm in trouble today.
I must see your face. So you demanded for you to.
Oh my gosh, I'm in trouble.
You are not.
Okay, so see what happened. I went to my settings and clicked on Zoom, right? Thinking it will open Zoom settings. Guess what it did? It zoomed my apps. You know, so when I open it, it's now bigger than my screen and it's not allowing me to click to
Are you using your laptop? Are you using your laptop?
Phone. I'm on my phone.
You're on your
Yes,
phone. Okay, look for video icon. Look for video icon.
Let me unzoom it first. Unzoom the screen.
And look for video icon and click the video icon. You uncheck the video icon. Vivi, show your face now. Let Mr. Gavin see your face.
I can't see me.
Let everybody show your face.
Okay.
I'm there now.
IJ, our principal. IJ is our principal. He has asked us to show our faces.
Vivian, please give me the meeting ID. Let me use something else to log in. Biko.
Okay, let me go to. I need to go to our now. I need to go to the platform. Should I type?
No, don't send anything. I can't do anything on this phone right now. So just call it out for me, please. Okay. Make a video. Oh yeah, let me put. I'll just press it in. No.
Hey, God, are you sure? I don't even put the meeting ID.
You can check it on Zoom right now. Abi?
How can I do that?
If you click on the meeting itself, I think.
If you click on meeting, Mr. Boinga.
Help us.
It was giving me. Okay, I've seen meeting settings.
Oh yeah, please call it out for me.
All right, meeting settings. So what should I look out for now?
Please give me the meeting ID.
Now, I'll show the meeting control, whichever meeting ID. No.
IJ, you can log out and sign in again now.
That's the thing. So everything on my phone is now bold, like it's to my face, and I don't have control of my screen right now. I have zoomed it so out that I have no control.
Wait,
Benga, do you have the meeting ID?
You said?
I clicked on it from the meeting ID.
Okay. You can leave the meeting and relog in.
I know I can, but I can't. Because I can't get to Zoom right now.
Wait, I'm trying to that. I think I should be able to give you that security.
You were using
hide screen.
Wait, Vivian, in the message you sent to us on the group, is the meeting ID not there?
No, I just copied it. Yeah, it
the link.
Yeah, I just copied the link. It doesn't have it.
Chai, I don't mess up.
Don't worry. Mr. Menga, we trust you now. And then I hold the meeting. No. So we can't have it. Don't worry, IG. Let's have that.
It's usually on the meeting. That's in the meeting itself, in the Zoom itself, as the host.
Yeah, I knew. No, because of how I did it.
Yeah.
So it might not.
Okay, hold on.
Wait.
Oh, no, I wanted to say, let me switch off my phone. First quit it, but even if I quit it, it will still come up as Zoom.
think I know another place I might see it. Let me just check.
If Gavin is good, Gavin is tired of all of us. Wallahi.
No, Gavin's network is having issues.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I think I got it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think I got it. Are you there?
Okay.
All right, so try.
Oh, yeah.
843.
843.
827.
827.
60.
60.
973.
973. Okay. Wait, so you give me password. Or your password. Passcode.
TV.
Ma?
TV.
TV, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if this is 0 or O.
Ibiakwa. No, please, no. No, now. If it's O, it will be fatter. If it's 0, it will be slimmer and overly.
That is IJ. That is IJ for you.
Okay, let me try one after the other then. Which one do you think it is first? Then I'll try that one like that.
Can you hear me?
Yes, so TV.
Yes, TV 0.
Okay.
PT.
Ma?
PT.
ET, yes.
2022.
2022. Okay. Incorrect missing passcode. So let's do the one. So you said TV 1.
No, I did not say. I said
sorry. O.
TT.
TT.
Yeah.
Wait, is it ET or TT?
TT.
Okay, I think I did ET the first time. Yes.
222.
2.
0.
I didn't even get it the first time then. TV. No, I'm trying TV O. TV O 2 TT.
2022. That's
Vivian, are you there? But why? Vivian. Oh my gosh. TV. Who has entered waiting room? Okay, someone was thrown out, I can't even see that. Hold on. Oh my gosh, please don't tell me I'm supposed to be the host of this meeting because I can't even do anything. Is anyone there?
Yes.
Are you here? Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Was she thrown out of the meeting?
No.
I think she just tried to come back in.
You mean Vivian?
Yes. Let me check if she's still a participant. Please, why are you here? But see, my phone zoomed. I don't know how to.
Let me check.
On Zoom it.
Yes, Vivian is still the host.
You can't hear her. I don't want to put it off. I put it off. I'll lose this meeting.
Vivian, unmute your mic. Let me chat her up.
Okay. I'm even in the wrong place. This voiceover, I need to be in. Just turn it on. Yeah, but it's not about turning it off. I clicked on Zoom by mistake. So it's not about turning it off. You can't turn off the whole phone. If you turn it off, I'll lose my meeting. I'll lose the meeting, then I can't get back in anyways. I'm trying to go on Zoom on this phone. Do you understand? So I need them to let me into the meeting on this phone. This boy, I hope you didn't cut it. Wait, okay, I'm still there. Sima Basi, please don't leave my phone. There you go. So weird for this to happen, yeah?
Vivian, you can on IJ camera from your end now.
You can request for me
Be able to on
you
your
can
camera from my
you
end.
can request for me to put it on, but can it actually come on without me saying yes, I
Okay,
want to
we
put
can
it on?
request for you to put it on.
Let
That's
me do
Yeah.
that. Let me
But
do
Vivian,
that.
I'm ready for the password. Sorry, I couldn't hear you anymore.
Oh, okay. I said TV. Can you hear
breaking up.
me?
Okay, TV. I'm going to try the 0 again. TV 0, yes.
It's
Why are you now breaking up? Why? Is it fair?
TT.
Okay, TT.
Yeah, 2022.
Okay, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
TVO.
So I've made you the co-host, so you should have all the privileges.
2022. Incorrect. TV.
TV.
I'm trying O now. TT, Abby. As in Thomas.
Yes.
Then 2022.
Yes.
TV.
But I've already made you the co-host here.
Yeah, but that's on
So
this phone that I cannot
have
access anymore.
Oh, okay.
TT 2022. Vivian.
It didn't work. Yeah?
Vivian, say that
Wow.
passcode again.
Please
hold on.
What I used to enter.
Wait.
I've entered the game.
One last time.
Okay. I said, did you get the meeting ID?
Right? So I should go back and try that one again, Abby.
Not the meeting ID first.
No, it has gone off. Please tell me. 83 something.
No, 843.
843.
8276.
8276.
0973.
0973. Passcode time.
TV.
0TT 2022.
2022.
I think it was.
Oh.
No, I think it was C.
I've used it to enter. I've entered already.
The T is tortoise, Abby.
Capital letters. Capital letters.
TV. Everything capital letters.
Yes.
Okay. And you are saying I should use 0, not an O, Abby?
No, use an O.
Okay, so TV capital O. I'm coming. Hold on. TT.
Mr. Wenger is out.
2022. Oh. It didn't work.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I used it to enter now. I used my phone to enter through it. Oh well, we'll have all that training.
And it's everything that was capital, Abby, not just the TV.
Yes, everything was capital. Yes. You know how I was able to decode that was you because your what's it called? Why won't I? Your YouTube, YouTube is miss.
Okay.
I was like, I'm used to, I know this. Immediately, I was like, I see Joma came in. Yeah. Okay. Nice having you, Jerry.
Okay.
Don't worry. Yeah, he will have another training.
Yeah. Anyway, based on what he was saying, we don't our curriculum does not let us assess children to help them. We just assess them for our records, really.
Right.
That's what
Gavin was actually trying to say too.
It's only, like he said, it's only Montessori that does that because Montessori doesn't have timetable, so to speak. Everybody doesn't have mass at the same time. So if you don't get a concept and they've assessed you and you don't get it, you do that concept again. That's why being a Montessori teacher is like double work, triple work, in fact, if not triple work. Because you can have a class of 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds, and all the 10-year-olds are not on the same level. They're all on different levels. This person has flown forward and is doing division of 4 digits by 2 digits, and the other one is still struggling with subtraction.
2 by 2.
So everybody is on their level.
That's true.
I don't know any other curriculum that accommodates
Yeah, in as
that
much as we
accommodates
talk about
assessment and
individual learning,
I
individualized
don't think
learning,
you have any you might never be able to.
no, well,
still you find out that a teacher wants everybody to be on the same level, because even when you are going to set the exams, the assessment, you're not going to say, okay, I will have an assessment for this particular child, for this particular child, for this particular child. You understand? That's the summative assessment.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. Yeah. I pray we'll get it right. Sure. Oh, bye, everybody. Thank you so much for all of you, both the ones that were in Zoom and the ones that were, from the social media. It's what assessment. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. I see you some other time.